painted in.
Here are your 4 colours ready mixed, plenty of colour because you've got to do before and after the shadows. And there's the picture waiting to be painted with the shadow. Add your French ultramarine at this stage so that you paint in the whole of the shadow shape. Be careful to keep the paint even and moist. Make sure that the brush is properly loaded. Keep the paint wet enough to manoeuvre easily. You can see I'm moving from one part of the shadow to the next to make sure that my brush isn't too loaded, too full. Keep going until it's all nice and evenly spread out. Now take the first or the palest of your original colours and start to paint in all the patches where the shadow overlaps this colour. Keep your wits about you so you know exactly where you're painting. Take it slow, and again, don't overload the brush, just have enough so that you can get a nice even surface of paint. The loading of the brush is really important at this stage. If you have it too loaded, you'll make a mess. Just keep it moist enough to move easily and make a good, strong, wet patch. Take the next colour. This is that red. And repeat the exercise, carefully filling all the patches of red where the shadow should be. Only those patches, and you can see I'm just making sure I haven't got too much paint in on any one patch, just spreading it around nice and evenly. Remember, the bead is your friend. It's a tiny little bead in this case, but you just coax the bead into the place that you want it to be. I'm using a number 8 sable, round, reasonable point on it, quite nice point, makes it fairly easy to use. Again, repeat the exercise with the third colour. Doesn't matter if this colour touches the last colour and it's slightly damp. If it moves a little bit into one of the other patches, it doesn't really make too many odds. It's a pavement, we're not absolute precision here. But if you keep the right moisture, it shouldn't wander, should stay more or less in place. And if you flood the patch, obviously you'll get a run. The little touch with the finger is just lifting out a mistake. If you go over the edge a bit, you can just touch it with the end of your finger and push it out, rub it out with the end of your finger. It's a little touch and a push, and you just get the paint from where you don't want it to be. Make sure your brush is properly loaded all the time. Not too full, not too dry. And now we're on to the last colour, the fourth colour, and it should be fairly obvious where these patches are, and you should be able to see now all the tonal changes and all the colour changes in the shape of the shadow, so that you've got a lovely light, sense of light and dark without losing the pattern. All the values are correct, all the tonal values are correct. And you're feeling nice and chilled because you've done a good bit of colouring in. What could be finer for the soul? And there's your end result, all beautifully done.